send the thunder home. Lillard, long-range three.
Beautiful morning. Get a sun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 61 of Steel Sports Talk is now underway. Now Casey's on a spring break. Last week it was me. This week it's him. So now he's in the random hotel room with AirPods on. And we got a lot of things to talk about. Pretty eventful episode. The Giants are back. MLB is back. NBA has concluded. And let's talk a little bit of the Masters as well, as I know we have some golf viewers out there. So let's do it.
Facts. We start with some very sad news that unfortunately occurred Saturday morning. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, ex-Washington football team quarterback, and Ohio State legend Dwayne Haskins unfortunately passed away. This was very sad news. Obviously, we started our day seeing this, on Twitter and obviously all social media. So what were your overall thoughts on this? I mean, it's just very sad.
Very tragic situation. Was bettering himself as a football player, as a person in Florida. And, he was growing, and it's just so tragic to see at 24 years old to have his life taken away in such an instant, and to be such a brutal way of dying too. But it's just, I mean, he had a outstanding college career, and he's a legend. So I think it's super sad news, but everyone's here to celebrate the life that Dwayne lived, and it was a good one. I mean, he's a very successful guy, and it's just so sad to see.
Yes, it's definitely just a very surreal event.
Exactly.
Because none of us actually knew Dwayne Haskins. None of us here. Obviously, many people knew him. But as someone that sees him as a famous person, it's just crazy because we never met him. So our lives specifically don't change. But it's just so weird realizing that, he's gone, obviously. And the way it happens, very sad. And just like what was happening before, he was training with his teammates, split with his teammate. I mean, he was going to get a chance this season with the Steelers, I think. Obviously, their quarterback situation was unset. And, his Instagram story before was really sad. So it's just a very sad situation. He was so young. I mean, 24 years old. So prayers to his family, his wife.
Yeah. He got drafted into a terrible situation. But he was, ready to start the next chapter with Pittsburgh. And it's terrible. How do you feel about the Adam Schefter situation, though, too? Because I know Adam Schefter, I don't think, has tweeted since then, after he detailed Dwayne Haskins' struggles in the text or in a tweet about him passing, which is very unnecessary and very unprofessional by Adam and the ESPN team. I'm sure he has to run it through some people before he tweets. I'm not really sure how it works, but
I think it's
how do you feel about the situation?
I mean, I think it's an interesting boundary between when you're a sports and media person, between tweeting out the sports aspect of it and then, just the straight aspect of it. Because obviously Adam is an NFL insider. He kind of has to make it a twist on everything compared to, I don't know if the New York Times or someone would have tweeted it because he is the NFL guy. But also sometimes I think Adam just doesn't really think before he tweets and just tweets it out. And he's a very, very smart person who's extremely focused, hardworking. He doesn't even really think about the emotional side of it. I feel like he doesn't really have any emotions sometimes. He's almost just like a robot and just tweets it out without even thinking. I mean, he did the same thing with Deshaun Watson a few weeks ago. So I think, for Adam, he should just take some time off, because the thing about Twitter is you can never win on Twitter. No matter what, people are going to get mad at you. I think Twitter's ruined the world. If you're hearing this, get off Twitter. I'm not even joking. It's ruined the world. But
I've been I've been very tempted to leave. It's too negative.
I'm on Twitter, but get off it. It's ruined the world. But you can't win no matter what. It's the most negative place on earth. But So, but it's definitely an interesting one. I think Adam should just take a month off Twitter. I think he's so busy that he's always doing it. I've actually heard a few podcasts about Adam Schefter, and he gets zero time off. His wife's has a disease. I mean, I think he should just leave Twitter for a bit, because he hasn't taken a vacation in years, he said. But that's besides the point. I mean, the point is not about Adam Schefter. It's about the tragedy of Dwayne Haskins, and I wish his family the best, and I feel awful for them.
Yeah, condolences from me and Casey to his family and friends. And one more thing about Adam Schefter, Des Bryant. I'll put the tweet up, but he said, "How about?" He said, "Quote: I won't say everything he said, but athletes, for the record, the stuff Adam Schefter wrote. That's how a lot of people view us. We ain't nothing but entertainment. If you let one treat you with
Right.
disrespect, the rest will follow." So a lot
Yeah,
of
like Dwayne Haskins was a human. It also bothers me how everyone is like, as a Bills fan, I hope Dwayne Haskins. I feel so sorry. Like, we don't care what fan you are. How about as a human? I'm sorry that Dwayne
yeah,
Haskins passed away.
exactly.
Like,
He's a human.
it's so weird, the whole fan card thing. Like, and people were getting mad at the football team, or I mean the Commanders, for tweeting like rest in peace to him. Like, you guys cut him. Like, what? They still care about him, obviously. It's
Right.
it's just such a dumb thing.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, these are humans at the end of the day. Before they're just like you and I. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's crazy how people view him as just purely entertainment, as is this figure that's not a human, kind of just like a robot. It's weird to think about, but
Yeah.
yeah. But at the end of the day, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins.
Yep.
So MLB is now underway, with every team having a series under their belt. No undefeated teams, which is just funny how baseball works. It's such a balanced thing. The Rays were undefeated, but they lost to the A's of all teams today. So yeah, it's cool how baseball works like that. It's more balanced. And as Giants fans, we'll talk a little about the Giants. They won the series 2-1 against the Marlins. Each game was decided by 1 run. So pretty even series, but the Giants did come up on top. And I didn't feel great about this series, to be honest. The bats weren't fantastic. I still think the bats need to wake up. But, the story of this series to me was Elliot Ramos and his call up to the big leagues and going 2 for 3 in his debut. I mean, not too shabby.
Not at all. The first one was one of those weird hits. It was like a deflected hit that counted because it was just such a rocket by him. Second one was jet. But I think that the story, was just the two newbies that everyone's been talking about for years, Bart and Ramos. Bart hit his first home run, and it's been 2 years now. We've been waiting for this first home run of Joey Bart, and he did it in the first game. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Elliott, as you said, it was a shock really that he got called up after 2 games only. And everyone's like, is Dubon going down? Is it one of the Slater Duggar, since everyone gets those two confused? But it was really just John Brebbia who was added to the Bravement list because he had a death in the family, I believe. Yeah. So first of all, condolences to John Brebbia, whoever that was that passed away. It's been a theme of this show so far, unfortunately. But Elliott, man, great job by him. And the starting pitching for me was a story. I mean, all 3 of them did well. 2 of the 3 did really good job, with Carlos Rodon and Logan Webb. The third one, Desclafani, already in midseason 4 and for the team.
Bro gave up 2 hits to start like every inning. It was like, come on, dude.
He
settled down at some point. But Rodon was great. 12 strikeouts, leads the league in strikeouts as of yesterday. And actually he leads the league in strikeouts for a starting pitcher. So yeah, great for Rodon, man. Logan Webb showing ace behavior, but it's cool. We kind of have like 2 aces, which is nice, kind of like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
but what's nice is they're different because Logan Webb, he'll pitch longer. He's more of a longevity guy because he's a bit more pitch to contact versus Rodon. I mean, as we saw, his pitch count, when you have 12 strikeouts, your pitch count's going to be way up there. So you're not going to be able to, he only could go up 5 innings, unfortunately. So then the bullpen had to choke that game. Well, they didn't really, they gave up 2 runs, but the bullpen had to choke the game. Maybe it was 3, but you know what I mean? So that I would rather have a Logan Webb, even though Rodon strikeouts are amazing. I'd rather have a Webb because he can go 7 innings, even Desclafani, he had a 9-inning game. Gosman never had a complete game last year, even though he was our best pitcher. Desclafani, I think, had 2 or 3 because he's more of a pitch to contact guy. So his pitch count stays lower. So those guys are nice too. So it's good to have a nice variety, but just like last year with the Giants, it was all low scoring games. The defense was left some guys on. The offense struggled a little bit. Friday, I was at the game. Just nice to be back for sure. Great game. Joey Bart, I sat right behind the rapper or artist 24K Golden. So that was cool. But Joey Bart played well. Belt with the captain came out on a boat and then he hit a bomb. So he delivered as well. as I said, Webb did. So it was a good game. Almost sold heavy. Doval didn't look good, but he played well the next
He redeemed
games.
himself the next game as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when McGee didn't.
And Leone also relieved himself. So
Leon
yesterday.
looked good yesterday as to shut it down and get the save. And yeah, I kind of like this closer by committee approach. That
I do too. I think I'm trusting Kapler now. Last year he didn't fully on my trust, but I trust what he does. I mean, he's a really smart guy. Him and Jimmy G, two sexiest men in the Bay Area. So
back, bro. Yeah, and then kind of around the league. The Rays look good, as I mentioned. There's this Stephen Kwan for the Guardians, Rookie of the Year watch already. He is like,
wow.
He hasn't swung and missed yet, which is insane. And he has like batting 800, I think, through like 5 games. And yeah, Stephen Kwan, man, doing great for the Guardians.
But then Suzuki for the Cubs hit a home run. I saw
he
yesterday.
hit his first home run. Javi Baez hit his first home run today.
Hunter Green's finally in the league. I remember when he was on Sports Illustrated, like kind of like out of high school, like LeBron was out of high school, and it took a while, but he's up there, so that's good for him.
I think they should let him hit too, because I remember he was recruited as both a pitcher and a shortstop. So
like Shohei.
Yeah, like Shohei. Who's that? That girl from who was in the Little League World Series? She was also on Sports Illustrated a lot.
Oh yeah, Monet Davis.
Monet Davis, yeah. I remember her and Hunter Green. Yeah, I wonder where she's at right now. But probably like a softball league. Anyway, I'll look that up in a sec. But yeah, the league's got off to a great start, and hopefully the Giants can keep it going. So
yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about the Masters.
All right, so the Masters, the best golf tournament of the year, wrapped up yesterday, and there was nothing like sitting back on your couch watching the Sunday Masters. Oliver's not the biggest golf guy, but I'm sure he followed it a little bit. This year is won by Texas Longhorns. I'll do this for one time only. Not a Texas guy, but Scottie Scheffler. He won it this year. Just 25 years old, came out of nowhere.
Oldest looking 25-year-old in the world.
Yeah, kind of looks like Book It with Trent, if you know him from TikTok. But Scottie Scheffler, he had won 0 tournaments like a month ago and is just on a hot streak and has won like 4 straight little ones going into this, and then won the Masters, #1 player in the world right now. And I mean, he cruised. He wasn't in first place at the first day, but in the second day, he took the lead and never looked back. I think Cam Smith got second. Shane Lowry did well, and Rory McIlroy had a really good Sunday. But ultimately, it was Scottie Scheffler that adds his name to the list. And the story, though, was really Tiger Woods. I mean, he came back. Some people thought, he almost was so hurt. Some people thought maybe he was going to die like almost a bit over a year ago, and he's already back in the Masters. Pretty amazing. Yeah,
the story kind of revolving around the Masters this year was Tiger Woods. He shot, I think, +4. If I don't know, but he wasn't. The play wasn't what blew people away. It was the fact that it was such a quick recovery for one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen, and it's just a great story for Tiger Woods. Still playing well at age, and
he went +13. He had a really tough Sunday and Saturday, but what the most important thing is he made the cut. The cut, that means half of the entire field does not get to play on Saturday and Sunday. He made it, so that's impressive. Along with Bubba Watson, who's also on the older side, he made it. So good for those two.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't the greatest tournament for Tiger, but that wasn't the story. And then Scottie Scheffler, being named the #1 player of the world, and then he goes and wins the Masters, living up to that title. So good for Scottie Scheffler. I mean, I feel like some players win the Masters and they kind of just fade out a little bit, like Jordan Spieth.
We'll see.
But Jon Rahm,
Spieth's an interesting one, yeah.
Jon Rahm kept that like best player in the world title for a good while. So
he hasn't won. He won the U.S. Open. Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Oliver's not a golf guy. Don't worry, boys.
Not a golf guy, boys.
But last year was Matsuyama. He's Japanese.
Who am I thinking of? There's a guy like Sergio something, but
Sergio Garcia.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Same
But
thing.
yeah, I mean, it is impressive. Scottie Scheffler, good Masters. Just making the cut is really impressive because if you're on hole 18 on that Sunday, you get the loudest applause ever, and it's something you'll never forget. So it's a lot of golfers' goal just to make the cut. So good for them. And it's always nice when someone that has not won a Masters, or sorry, a Masters yet wins it, or sorry, a major wins one. So good for him. Scottie Scheffler, Rory almost came back, but didn't quite get it. Colin Morikawa did well. Justin Thomas, a lot of them. Masters, nothing like it. Best course in the world. The fake bird noises, as many say, the flowers, everything. Beautiful course.
Yeah, shout out
Augusta.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's talking golf.
Let's get a little bit into the NBA as the season wrapped up, and we're primed for playoff time, baby. Go Warriors.
All right, let's cook.
So me and Casey are gonna give our favorites from each conference and our maybe like the sleeper team from each conference. So the play-in games are tomorrow. New Orleans, San Antonio. The winner of that will play the loser of Minnesota and the Clippers to get the 8th seed. And then
New Orleans would have to win only once, right? And San Antonio would have to win twice, along with same for 7 and 8.
They both need to win twice.
What? So what does the higher seed get? Just home field advantage or home court advantage?
Yeah, they the home court in this game. That's it.
I feel like New Orleans should only have to win once. I guess it's 9-10. If it was 7 versus 10, maybe.
No, whoever wins this game only has to win once. And then whoever to get the 8th seed, the 8th seeds have to win 2 games in a row away. And whoever loses this game just needs to win at home against the higher seed. It's kind of confusing, but yeah, same thing on the side. Brooklyn, Cleveland, Atlanta, Charlotte. East is looking a lot more balanced this year with all 10 seeds having winning.
Oh, I see. I get it. Okay. So the 10 seeds are limited. Okay, I got it now.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with the West. I think the favorite here is Phoenix, man. Just a spectacular season for these Suns. Great in crunch time. The key factor is if Chris Paul can stay healthy, which is something he has struggled to do in the playoffs over his career. But him and Devin Booker, great depth, well-coached team. I think this team has nothing to lose. And then my sleeper I have as the Warriors, man. They're 3 seed, but they can go toe-to-toe with everyone in the league. They show that they split the season series with Phoenix. And if they can get by Memphis in the second round, which I think they can, assuming that matchup plays out, I think they're dangerous. And I think they can give Phoenix a run for their money, which they have. And they beat them twice this year. And the one time they lost to them, they weren't healthy. So, one of the 2 times they lost to them, they were not healthy. So they could have easily got 3-1 against Phoenix. So yeah, for me, the West, that's what I'm liking.
Yeah, my favorite's also the Phoenix Suns. I mean, hate to be a broken record of Oliver, but they're the best team in the NBA. Great record, 64-18. And the main difference is last year they made the championship and they have vengeance on their mind. They lost in the finals and they have their best 3 players all still in the Suns. Devin Booker leads the team in points. The other man, DeAndre Ayton, leads the team in rebounds. And then the third guy, Chris Paul, leads the team in assists. So, they all specialize in one of the 3 aspects of the game. And I think this team is good and hot, and they'll beat whoever that playing team is probably in that first round and more. Now, my sleeper team, unfortunately, hard to say this to you, Oliver, who's a huge fan, and me, who is a fan of the Warriors, is the Denver Nuggets. This team also had a really good run last year, but I think what makes them a sleeper is they have Jamal Murray coming back possibly. So I think that could really help them. Obviously, he probably wouldn't be amazing because he's recovering, but that would be huge for this team to get him back, help out Jokic. They have a ton of it. They have more guys on this Nuggets team that have experience in the playoffs than this Warriors team. I mean, obviously there's Curry, Clay, Draymond, and Iggy. Besides those 4, I don't know if there's any other guys. The whole Nuggets team was there last year. Like Otto Porter, what experience?
I just think without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray probably in this first round, this team besides Jokic is pretty terrible. So
that does sound kind of funny though. I did just name 4 NBA champions from 3 times.
3-time NBA champs. Besides
that is true. But I don't know. I think the winner of that 3-6 matchup will make the Western Conference Championship.
Oh wow. So and Jokic he's probably gonna win MVP again this year, back-to-back MVP. So
I think the Grizzlies are a little bit, and next year will be I don't know, the Grizzlies.
yeah, I think the
John's
Grizzlies will be
still really young.
I think they'll be the 1 seed next year. But moving on to the East, I just did a podcast on this before this, on my friend's podcast, Big Sauce Podcast. Check it out
Check it out
on all platforms, mainly Spotify though, or Apple Music or whatever. I picked Miami, which is a bit boring. It's a bit chalk, but my original pick was Milwaukee, and I think they're the best team in the East. But it's just kind of boring because it's the same matchup as last year.
I like Chicago to beat them, honestly.
No, Chicago.
They're not going back to back.
But Chicago was like 10 wins in their last like 40 games.
Dude, I'm telling you, Chicago is solid.
Wow.
You're forgetting that they have Pascal Siakam on the Raptors these days.
I have Milwaukee sweeping Chicago.
Really? DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic both have good. Well, Vucevic doesn't have good playoff experience. But I don't know, dude. DeRozan's won a natty before. No, wait, was he gone? He was gone when they won a natty, didn't he?
Yeah, bro.
He was with the Spurs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami. 1 seed, but it not many upsets happen in the NBA because it's a 7-game series, so teams have time to kind of like show who the better team is. And I think they've been the most consistent team in the East. But I don't know if you can call this a sleeper, but I'm gonna say Boston just because the 2, 3, and 4 teams in this conference all have the same record, so I think you can kind of call them a sleeper. And so that would be the Boston Celtics, who've been scorching hot, great defensively. They'll probably play the Nets in the first round. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum have been awesome defensively, and then you have Jaylen Brown. Robert Williams will be big to see if he comes back, but I like this Boston team. And then if we want to even go higher than that, another sleeper I have is Toronto. I think they'll take care of Philly in 5 or 6, just because they've been Philadelphia's kryptonite so far this year. So I really like this. The probably runner-up rookie of the year is Scottie Barnes. Pascal Siakam's been outstanding. Fred VanVleet was an all-star this year, and they have OG Anunoby returning soon. So this is a pretty good Toronto team, and just like Boston, they've turned things around this season after a very, very slow start. So those are kind of, I think the thing I love about this playoff field is so wide open. So many teams can come out of each conference. So like I can see the top 5 teams winning the East, and or maybe even the 7 seed. You never can sleep on Brooklyn, and then in the West, I like besides Denver, who I don't really like. I think the Clippers have a chance too with Paul George. They've been great. And then besides Denver and Minnesota and San Antonio and New Orleans, I think anyone can win that. So yeah, it's a great playoff field.
My favorite is not the Miami Heat, although I'm very happy Victor Oladipo had a really solid night last night, had him 40. Good for him to be back. They lost to the Magic. I like the 76ers. You know, I've said Embiid was my MVP from mid-season when we interviewed Rick Bucher. And I still think Philadelphia has made their team better, obviously, getting James Harden, who is one of the most experienced players in the NBA playoffs right now. So I think this team together will beat the Raptors, and I think they'll beat the 1-8 winner. And that goes to my sleeper, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that this team's going to beat the Miami Heat. I don't trust this Heat team to go far in the playoffs this year. And I like the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat them. And also Brooklyn, Boston will be solid. I like Boston to finally have a run. I think they'll make the Eastern. The question is, can they win the Eastern Conference and make it to the championship? As you said, it's so wide open. There's no clear favorite. I mean, there's no one that's saying Miami will 100% win it. I mean, even though they're the 1 seed.
Yeah, I'd say right now, Phoenix, rightfully so, because they've just been far and away the best team in the league this year. I think they're probably going to be the favorites, but you can't.
No favorite in the East, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. I agree definitely about the East, but I'm like in the whole grand spectrum of things. You obviously can't bet against a team that has Kyrie and KD or Steph, Clay, and Draymond, but
like if the Heat were to play the Nets, I think the Nets would win in a 4-game series, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. But yeah, I'm excited for the NBA playoffs. Starts next weekend. Playing games start tomorrow. Warriors play Saturday 5:30 Pacific time against the Nuggets. Super excited.
Will you be there?
that's what we got for CO Sports Talk this week. A lot of stuff going on, which is fun.
Yes. I love NBA playoffs, man.
Yeah, NBA playoffs is so fun. Especially the
Oh,
final.
I didn't mean to record. We don't have to record.
Next week or the week after, we'll have our full NFL mock draft 1.0 posted.
True.
And yeah, that probably be the only focus of that episode because it's kind of a big deal. And we hope to mock drafts are like impossible because it's hard to predict trades and stuff. It's just so unpredictable. We'll probably go no trades unless Casey wants to. We'll talk that out. But yeah, that'll do it for this week's of CO Sports Talk, and we'll go watch the Giants now. So
Sounds good.
peace.
Goodbye.